they applaud the traveling fans, as I'm sure they would be very, very happy as they take all 3 points back to Manchester. Well, let's have a look at the Premier League standings there. Man City, hot on Arsenal's tails. Only 2 points behind the league leaders, the Gunners. They're in second position. All right, let's bring in the rest of our crew. A very, very happy Nedum and Noah, not just because Manchester City won today, but a certain Sunderland got a big win too, and I think that's the one that's going to sweet him a little bit more. And our Frank Leboeuf, who's got his very, very fancy glasses on. But Nedum, you know I'm going to, of course, start with you on this one. City once again reducing the gap to 2 points. It looks like they're ready to push Arsenal all the way.
Yeah, it certainly feels that way. I think the performance itself today, I think the scoreline in some ways probably flatters to deceive a little bit, because Palace should definitely come away from the game thinking that they should have scored. But for City, it's about being clinical. I think, as Ali said, when you've got that ball into the box for the 6'4" Erling Haaland at the back post, you got to take it, and he certainly did that today. And for City, yeah, considering they haven't been as consistent as, say, Arsenal have been throughout the season, it's not really felt the same. The fact that they're essentially one win and one weekend away from being top of the league, it's a strange sort of position to be in, because it doesn't feel like the two sides are having the same sort of season. But this is Man City, it gets towards Christmas time, winter time, and you start to see them sort of find their position, find their footing, and then go on some of these runs that have led to them, winning Premier League titles in times gone by. And I'm not saying it's a guarantee it's going to happen now, but it's definitely a guarantee they're going to do everything they can to make sure that come the end of the season, if Arsenal do win the title, they'll be deserving winners because they've had to work so hard for it.
Frank, what did you make of this latest result and latest win for Manchester City? Because we know how Crystal Palace can definitely be a tricky team to beat, especially at home.
Yes, exactly. And that Jeremy scored that early shot that he hit the post or the crossbar. That might be a different story. But I like the fact that Manchester City are confirming that they're going to chase Arsenal and not giving up. And the fact that Guardiola finally found a way to play the football in another style, a more direct one that I think we would have never seen last year or the year before, a cross like that from Nunes and the header from Haaland, that directly, I would say. So that's the way of changing the way he wants to play, more directly, with no needing of 45 passes before scoring a goal. So I like it. I like the fact that Cherki and Foden, they found each other again today. Another assist from Cherki, another goal from Foden. Everything is going great. Defensively, I found, it's quite easy with Crystal Palace, because Crystal Palace don't like to have the ball, but I found Manchester City quite settled down and quite solid. Donnarumma didn't have good games because he did 8 goals in, I think, 4 games lately, but today he was there and did the job. So a good game, 3-0, nothing to say. You go back to Manchester City, you're happy to do so, and you've done the job.
They did the job indeed. But Ale, we have to talk about the big man you were talking about, Erling Haaland, 16th Premier League goal of the season so far. He's just, I've almost lost words and compliments to give him at this point. It's scary.
Yeah, he's pretty good, isn't he?
Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah, right. Look, we have criticized Matheus Nunes quite a bit defensively, and I think rightfully so. He's just not a right back. But when he finds himself in an advanced position and you give him time and space, a lot of the Manchester City players would have chosen to, I'm going to play this ball sideways and back and sideways again. This guy, with a far more offensive approach, says, you know what? I got the big guy over there. Why am I going to knock the ball over here when I can just play him there? I can hit this ball there and have him go get it. Have him go get it. Is there anybody else in the world inside the 18-yard box that you would prefer going to go get a ball, a cross, an incoming cross in the world? Name me somebody that can go and get a ball better than Erling Haaland. And honestly, I don't know why Manchester City don't do this more often. If I were a wing player from Manchester City, say for example a Doku, who would love to do this move, this move, the one where he cuts to the right, that. He loves to do that one. How about you just take it to the outside and swing a ball in and let the big man go and jump and get it? If you put a ball in a dangerous area, more times than not, he's going to finish those chances. And as a striker,
Ale-
you love the crosses coming in, that you go and attack. That's what you want. That's what you dream for. That's what keeps you alive. The idea of going and attacking a ball inside the 18-yard box.
Frank, you wanted to chime in?
Yeah, if I may, Ali, I think you're right. You're absolutely right. Everybody should do that. But I have the feeling that they weren't allowed to do that. At a certain point, like it was like Pep Guardiola, were asking them to be sure 100% before crossing the ball that the guy would get the ball, that you are never 100% sure. And it's why they didn't try. They put the ball back to make sure that they don't lose the ball. And that was the idea of Guardiola last season, the season before. And I'm so happy to see that they are, like Nunes showed today, capable of taking a decision and say, okay, I go for it. Good luck. You have the big guy, yeah, that's better than anybody else, but they try, and that is what I like the most about this season with Manchester City.
Nedum, did you notice that as well?
To a certain extent, but I mean, let's not overreact here. Like, the guy scored 100 Premier League goals, so I think
I'm
he's
a comedian,
getting
I'm
enough
an
good
actor,
service, and he has scored
it's why you have to overact.
Let us be dramatic, Nedum.
And yeah, of course. But this was a great example of how good he can be in the air. But I think to sort of add a little bit of nuance to this particular goal itself, as the ball comes into the box, I'm wondering, well, why is he sort of semi-free? You know, why is he behind? I think it was Chris Richards at the back post. And I think it's because City had 4 players in the box in this particular instance. I think at times when they don't put it into the box, they don't really like the numbers game as such. But I think the fact that they put those many bodies into the box, I think that the right decision is always to put it in, because the players are there and ready to compete. And if it doesn't drop to Erling, then maybe it drops to the next person. Maybe it's Reinders, who knows, whoever it's going to be. So yeah, I think at times being able to mix it up like that is good. And in fairness to Nunes, he has provided quite a few assists for Haaland in recent, say, months and so on. But yeah, when the ball goes up in the air and he can jump so high as well, he's such a great target man, such a great finisher. And best of all, if the service is anywhere near him, you know he's going to throw everything he can to do it. And like I said before, getting that head over Chris Richards is a huge achievement. And I think for Palace to concede a goal like that, I think it says a lot about the quality of the ball and the desire that Haaland has to be able to finish it the way he did.
All right, that's enough about Manchester City, isn't it?
You know, does Nedum know that I wasn't criticizing Erling Haaland, right?
Ooh, ask him.
No.
Nobody was getting personal with Erling
That's his
Haaland.
Boy. That's his boy.
I was saying, I said nobody's better than him inside the 18-yard box attacking a ball. What else you want me to say?
Ali, don't make it too long.
I love me Erling Haaland. I couldn't love him any more than I do.
Don't make it too long. Did you hear Alexis? She said, okay, enough with Manchester City.
Yes,
so
thank you, Frank. Thank you. I've had enough.